Polypede works here. Bonnie coin is up. Bonnie coin is skyrocketing. I am so rich. Look at my coins. Look at my splendor and wonder. I am Scrooge McDuck jumping into my big vault pool of Bonnie coin. Oh, this was a good chapter, baby. So, coming to you once again with One Piece, chapter 1119, entitled Emeth. Now, Emeth turns out to be the name of the robot. And a lot of people have been talking about the name, and because of them, they made me look it up myself. And the meaning of Emeth means in Hebrew, firmness or veracity, which makes a lot of sense because we find out that the robot is not a punk and is very, very strong. So strong, in fact, that I'm starting to wonder how legitimate Kaido is, because this is low-key kind of crazy. So, moving on. So I want to read the author's notes first because I find them quite cool. Oda says, I got shown Luffy on the Las Vegas Sphere. Hopefully someday I'll see it with my own eyes. If you didn't know, One Piece was the first anime anything to be shown on the Las Vegas Sphere. So that's pretty neat. And I hope Oda does see it one day. Maybe after he finishes One Piece. I don't know. Because that's going to be a big deal too. When One Piece ends. Oh man. Oh, I don't want to think about it. But yeah. Going back to our cover story, Yamato is being pelted by rocks because kids don't like Kaido and blame him for ruining their country, which he did. So, I mean, the hate is justified. It's kind of sad that this is happening, but maybe she'll make it right with the kids and show that she's not a bad guy. That'd be kind of neat. I hope that happens. That'd be neat. But continuing with Egghead, the opening scene is very interesting because it gives me Straw Hat joining vibes. Basically, Kaku is telling Stussy to leave. They weren't friends. Kaku did respect her as an associate, but she should get out of here before Lucy comes back. And on this point, this is why she sticks out so much to me, because Stussy is not the homie. She is not a CP9 homie. We've seen the CP9 boys hang out. Khalifa, Bluto, all of the guys. We've seen them hang out with one another. They've went bowling before. So, no, Stussy is not the homie. Stussy was always going to be on the outskirts. And it was really weird seeing her with Kaku and Lucy back in Mary Joas. It always looked strange. So this is why this development is expected after the whole betrayal. And he tells her to leave, and she's in tears about it too. But it shows you that she does like them. And it's sad that she had to betray them. But, you know, father first. And I gotta agree. Vegapunk is her dad. He did bring her into the world. So, of course, she's going to be loyal to him. I am really hoping she does join. I made videos about that. Go check those out. But she's a really interesting and complex character. And I can't wait to see what becomes of her in the future. Because she feels like a complete page flip on Robin. She really does. And like I said in that video, she brings very interesting things to the story, much like Robin did. So we have to see how this develops. Because as we find out here, the Sunny has not left yet. So there's still opportunity to get on the boat. We'll see if I can go 2 for 2. Because I don't think too many people are looking at Stussy as a Straw Hat candidate at this moment. And I think we're going to get 2 this arc. And that will bring us closer to the crew being complete. I don't think we're going to stop at 10 because of some things that have happened. And I have explained those in various videos and many more to come. But this is a very interesting development because Kaku's broken up about it. He does not want her to leave, but he knows that's for the best. And what's interesting too about this arc as a whole is that we find out even more so. We've had glimpses of it before, but yeah, Luffy is not just a serial killer. He's not just a cold-blooded murderer. He is down for the homies. He loves Kaku. He loves all the boys, and that's great. He loves Califa. He loves Funkuro. He loves Kumadori, Bluno, Jaguar. All the guys he's got great rapport with, and that's beautiful. Except for Spandam. No one likes Spandam, of course, because he's terrible. But it's interesting that there's such a close-knit family, and Stussy really is the interloper here. It's really weird to think about because when you sit down and consider the cover story, their interactions during the Ennis Lobby arc, yeah, she really is the one hair that doesn't belong here. It's a weird thing to consider, but it's true. She even fits the weird theming of them because she, too, like I've talked about before, is most likely a Zoan. But the likeliness of the nature of her power is that she's probably the first artificial zone user in history. That's what I think, at least. And I made a video about that again. But it's weird because in her being an artificial Zoan, that kind of adds to her whole theme of not being an original person because, of course, she too is a clone. And now you add on top of that her being sort of like this outsider of our known CP9 characters upgraded to CP0. It's a really interesting look for her. It really makes her an outcast in all of this going on. So I think with that being said, since she's the odd man out, she would make an interesting main character. I'm just saying. I've talked about it before, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that all adds up. But moving on. Everyone is reacting to two Nikas being in their presence, the Giants, the Marines, and Luffy has his eye on the prize, and I thought this was going to happen because they brought it up, obviously. They're going to take out Mars. And Luffy informs everyone that the only way to deal with these monsters is to blow them away because they can't be sliced or crushed because they just recover and come right back. As he says that, Mars fires a blast at him. Luffy uses Gum Gum Balloon and blocks it. And he is not liking the heat. This reaction shot's crazy, bro. This is a very funny chapter. And Luffy gives the command to Bonnie, Franky, and Sanji to give him all that they have at full force so he can send it back at Mars. And here's a very interesting character development point, though. Bonnie in Gear 5th. Oh, forgot to mention, Mars calls Bonnie's transformation a facsimile. So that just means, oh, she just copied Human Fruit Model Nika. So it is just a copy. Which I'm wondering, can she do this because this fruit is of human nature? Because it is a human fruit. Or is it any fruit, period? It's leaning on any fruit, period, but I don't know. But it may be more complex than that. But this all just goes to say that she's going to be a main character. No, it can't be. It can't be anything else. Because there's too much to do with this ability. There's too much depth to be had with this power. If you still don't think so, well, I got some for you coming up. So, okay. Bonnie freaks out that they're going to attack Luffy. And this is the character point I mentioned because she's calling Luffy as he's in Gear 5th. So at least she can discern the difference between Nika and Luffy. At least she's calling Luffy when he's Nika. That's important. I like that. What's also funny is that Dory commands his men to put out the fire, but they can't stop dancing because all of the Nika on display. Very funny, very cool. And then Luffy turns into the devil, apparently. This shot is crazy. This is the freakiest, most monstrous shot we've seen of Gear 5th yet. As Mars lit him ablaze, Luffy grabs Mars's wings as a big balloon boy. His face is on fire, and he just holds him down. He holds him in place, bruh. And this face, oh Lord. I can't imagine this from Mars's POV. Mars is a big demon bird, but Luffy is an actual, look at this. He's an actual monster. And this has been going on in the anime too, because Luffy messed around and found out. And from Luffy's POV, he's getting a very similar thing to what Mars is getting right now. It's insane, bruh. It's so scary. But yeah, Sanji activates Ifrit Jumbi and prepares a Hell's Memories. I think this is a new attack from Franky because this is an impactful strong right. Impactful sounds new, and impactful could mean something, but we're going to get to that very soon. And then Bonnie has Elephant Gun. Okay. Also, you see on that end of Elephant Gun, you see the tip where the wrist and the hand are? It's blackened. Bonnie has HAKI. Bonnie has arm and HAKI. It's not as good as Luffy's, because with Luffy, basically the whole arm was black. With her, only the wrist and the fist are black. So her understanding of armament isn't as good as Luffy's, but man, she's a prodigy, ain't she? She's good. She's only 12 and she could do this. I was about to say, is she the youngest HAKI user in the series? She might be the youngest armament HAKI user, because I don't think we've seen any young kids use armament. So that's a plus. That's cool. And they all do a team attack together on Luffy's back, and Luffy reacts and says, "Ouch, that hurts." And then Buddy's eyes bug out, and she says, "Huh, it hurts." Of course it does. You guys are using HAKI. Now, the question is, we know Sanji has HAKI. We now know Bonnie has HAKI, obviously, since she can use Elephant Gun, which, I mean, woo, and she's big while using Elephant Gun, because Franky and Sanji in comparison are tiny. That's insane. But I think Franky has HAKI, baby. Oh, this is the year of Franky. Yes, 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 yes. And here's why I say that. Because even though his fist isn't blackened, the fact that he says impactful, strong right. Why is it called impactful? What's different about it? And because he says you guys are using HAKI, I know he can't see who's attacking him, but because of observation, he can sense who has HAKI. So I don't know. I think Franky has HAKI. I think he does, because this is new. I've never heard of impactful strong right. I'll make an edit if it's existed before, but I don't think so. I'll have to look it up later. But yeah, man, that's crazy. And then Luffy does something similar to what he does in Punk Hazard and in Whole Cake Island. Because assuming this balloon state, he takes all the damage and fires it back at Mars, causing him to do his best Team Rocket impression and blast off into the sunset. Now, he's literally a star in the sky. But what's interesting about this is that, do you remember Gum Gum Thank You Fire? That had similar mechanics to this, in which Luffy absorbs an attack using Gum Gum Balloon and then fires it back at the opponent, but using aim this time instead of letting the attack go loose like he usually does. And if I remember correctly, Rayleigh taught him that it would be more effective to do things in that way. How this is like Tank Man, my favorite Gear 4th variant, is that in Tank Man, Luffy absorbed Cracker into his gut and fired him back out into the army of his own biscuit soldiers. So this new attack, which is called Gum Gum Booming Dawn Balloon, is very similar to those two instances. Very cool. I love it. I love balloon being used offensively. It's great. It's great. It's great. And the reaction gags are crazy. Bonnie has become the best female in the series. She is hilarious. She's doing all the Nika gags along with Luffy. This is cool, bruh. I love this. Bonnie coin go up. Bonnie coin go up, baby. Bonnie stonks are high. They're high as Mars is in the sky. It's insane. And with Mars gone, everyone is safe because they can no longer be chased by an elder. What's really weird, though, is that Sanji says to Bonnie, our captain's orders are absolute, Bonnie-chan. And she agrees. So, is she a crew member now? I'm just asking. Because that was really weird phrasing. But we'll have to wait for the official. But I would just keep an eye on that. Now, we'll do a separate video about this, but Atlas has to go check on something because York is monitoring her and Lilith. Yeah, she's flying off too. She's flying off. And of course, Luffy asks about Usopp and the others, and Sanji tells him that they were meant to fly in, but they are late. So we'll see in chapter 1120, which is a wild thing to say, but we'll see then what has happened to Group B, of which I think some interesting things are going to happen moving forward. We see the robot in the ocean. The Denden Mushi recovers with the robot, apparently, and the broadcast is back on. He says, of the sorts, that's why. And we flash to Whole Cake Island. We see the main man, Katakuri, baby. Yes! Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back, baby. We see Charlotte Brownie, who, if I recall, was one of the ones experimenting on the Vinsmokes way back. And we see Charlotte Moscato, who was the guy who got soul zapped by Big Mom at the start of the Whole Cake Island arc. So he's fine. He got better. Oh, I love Weird Ice Cream, man. He's very funny. Very round, too. It's weird that he's got like this really rotund torso on these tiny little legs, but it's one piece. It's one piece. But Vegapunk goes on to say that ceaselessly inherited aspect, we can call it a will. So he's talking about inherited will with the D clans. And as he's talking about that, we see Charlotte Zucato, who is a really rare Charlotte family member. I don't know if he does anything. I think he has a gun. He doesn't have any Delphi powers. But when Vegapunk says this, he's reacted to it. We see Katakuri in the shot. I think we also see Brulee's twin sister, if I recall correctly. She's like a tiny little speck in between Katakuri and Zucato. I forgot her name. I'll put her up on screen. We see Morgan and Vivi react to this, which I wonder whose will Vivi will inherit. Probably Cobra's. I don't know if Cobra's dead, but it's not looking good for the boy. We flash to another town. I don't know where this is, and no one looks familiar. Could be Alabasta, or it could be some marine base. I'm not sure. We flash to York. At York, informs the 5 elders that they only interrupted the transmission. If they want to shut the broadcast down, they're going to have to destroy the robot, which, as we find out later, I don't think that's going to happen. But, never mind all that. We got Gaimon on deck, bruh. Gaimon is here. Gaimon and his wife Sarfunkel. Yes, 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 yes. We got weird chicken, wolf, fox in the back. We have rabbit snake. Oh, I miss the island of weird animals, baby. Yeah. Old Piece. Love Old Piece. Yes, classic One Piece. Oh, Gaimon. Gaimon is doing well. Yes. But as this is going on, it starts to rain debris, Cypher Pole agents, and the Seraphim. So I don't know how it's looking for the Seraphim to fall into Blackbeard's clutches at this moment, but we shall see. We shall see. But this rain is being caused by Jupiter spitting them all up. Imagine your boss eating you and then spitting you up into the sky. Disgusting. He does this, though. Jupiter does this to then suck in the ship. How is his lungs this powerful as a worm? That's why I'm saying he might be an ancient Zoan, because he has no powers. This isn't a power. Not really. This is just strong lungs. He's trying to suck in the giant ship, right? Luffy clobbers him in the mouth with a big hockey punch. Very good. Boymon and another giant are cheering him on. Doll is still a child, which is crazy. And then Warcree has enough of this tomfoolery and starts to charge this ship. As he goes in for the ship, however, we see that Bonnie has collapsed because freedom is too exhausting for her. Like I said before, that like many people have said, her stamina is worse than Luffy's. So this was expected. No one, I don't think, was expecting her to stay gear 5th the entire time. So her being knocked out, very expected, not surprised. Workery goes in for the killing blow on the ship, and Emmeth comes up and punches Workery in the tusk, breaking one of his tusks off. Very cool. Very cool. Very Odin-like. I like it. Picasso. Very based. And this is actually when we find out that the robot's name is Emmeth, as Emmeth appears to be having a mini flashback of Joy Boy of some sort. I don't think we're going to go into flashback piece yet. I don't think so. It's going to depend, because we've already done so much this arc, and we've already had such a big flashback with Kuma that I doubt we'll go into another one. I mean, the information is going to be divulged in some way, but I don't know. It just seems too much for me at this time. To be honest, I don't know. It just seems a bit too bloated to do at this moment, seeing as how so much action is going on. And Brogy and Dory react to the robot, and we get Luffy's star eyes as he sees the robot up and acting. Very cool. Love when Luffy is excited about gyro robots. That's cool. But Emmeth mentions Joy Boy talking about a time to act, because he says the time. And the full quote is, "Listen up, Emmeth. The time is at hand." I guess this is Emmeth responding to Joy Boy in his head. And he says the time as a question. So yeah, don't know. We know that he reacts to the drum of liberation as a power source, because there were two at the same time that could have gave him the wherewithal to come out of the ocean and to smack Workery in the face. Don't know. That seems very likely because of his power source. But yeah, I'm very curious to see where we go from here. Are we actually just going to finish up Egghead and leave? Or is something else going to happen? But I thought that this would not be the case with the whole message thing. I thought the message would complete. So there's probably going to be something more said, and that's going to end the broadcast, because we have to end on a big dawn moment, right? And the robot isn't going to be destroyed or defeated until that happens. Is the robot going down in this arc? Most likely. I can see the robot going down. I don't think he's going to succeed. I think everyone's going to escape, allowing the robot to be taken advantage of by, I guess, maybe all the elders except Mars. Matter of fact, where did Mars end up? I can't wait to see where Mars landed. Is Saturn going to have to retrieve him with a summoning circle? That's a funny thought to think about. Here's something else that I just wanted to bring up. I've talked about this a lot. We'll make a big video. You know who's not reacting to this news? We've seen Krieg. We've seen Gin. We've seen Pearl. We've seen Foxy, right? We've seen Gaimon. And this could be the penultimate round trip of characters that we're going to see. But you know who we haven't seen? We haven't seen Bonnie's crew, and we haven't seen the Sun Pirates. Isn't that interesting? But with that being said, give me your thoughts. Great chapter. Bonnie coin go up, baby. Yeah.